Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me. In today's video, we're going to be testing out two new products and they are from Urban Decay. So the first product I have here is the Stay Naked The Fixed Powder Foundation. You can use this as a foundation or to set your makeup, to even add more coverage if you'd like. Today we are going to use this only as foundation because that is what I bought this for. And then we also have the Stay Naked Threesome Palette. So here we get a blush, highlights, and a bronzer. We'll get into this product here in just a little bit. So going back to the powder foundation, because this is where we're going to start, I ended up getting this because, first of all, I have the best luck with Urban Decay foundations. And as I'm talking about this, I'm gonna start doing my makeup because I actually have to go to work today and I figured it would be a good time to test this. So let me start doing my makeup while I'm talking. Before I apply this powder foundation, I am going to apply my concealer. So I'm going to use the Stay Naked concealer. I have them in the shades 40 NY, which is way too light for me. So then I also got 50 CP, so we'll just mix the two. So as I was saying, the Urban Decay foundations have worked really well for me. As of right now, I cannot think of one that has not worked out. They all perform as they say they're going to. I haven't really used the all-nighter foundation in quite some time, but I know if I need to rely on a full coverage foundation that'll last me all day being full coverage, that is a good one to go for. And then I love my Stay Naked foundation. I loved the Naked foundation before that. That one's been discontinued and replaced with the Stay Naked. And yeah, so any product I've used from them, I've had good luck as far as complexion goes. I also have always enjoyed their concealers. The original Naked concealer I really liked, and then this Naked one I enjoy just as much. This is the box it comes in, and it says here up to 16-hour wear. In the back of the box, it also says it's a microfine powder, transform with skin seamless, instant full coverage, breathable, real skin, a matte finish, it does not transfer, stay true to color, water resistant, sweat resistant, and a vegan formula. Now I have been using this foundation. I tested it out all day yesterday, not the day before yesterday, 2 days ago I wore it for about whatever's left on this. I like to go over like my red or more problematic areas. So 2 days ago, I did also wear it for about half a day, and each day I wore it a little differently. So I'm also going to explain that as I'm applying the foundation. The foundation comes in 24 shades. I picked mine in the shade 40 NN. In the liquid formula, I used the shade 41 NN, but that wasn't available in the powder foundation. The packaging itself is really pretty. It's like a metallic finish, and then the UD here is kind of rised up. So it's really pretty. I love the look of it. The bad thing is, and you guys can probably see that now, there are fingerprints all over this packaging. Let's just open this up. You get a really nice mirror in here, and then here is the powder. So again, I'm using the shade 40 NN, and down here it also comes with this like charcoal infused sponge. If I can lift this up, here we go. And you can use this to apply your foundation with. So I did go ahead and use this yesterday. I don't think I'm going to use it today. Instead, I'm going to use this sponge from Real Techniques. It's actually designed to be used with powder products. So I want to see how this works with this. But the reason why I don't like to use like the little sponge it comes with is, first of all, can you wash those? And if you can, like how, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you can wash them, but for some reason, I don't feel like they're going to last as long anyway. So I'd rather keep that there without really using it, just in case I do decide to travel with this or put it in my purse to use it for touching up sometime in the future. So I'm going to leave that sponge there for that reason. Now, the first day that I tried this, that I wore for half a day, I only applied it with a brush, and I really liked how it looked. It looked very natural because it is a powder formula. You can build it up. So then I ended up testing that out yesterday. So in order for me to have more of a seamless application, I still prefer to first apply it with the brush, which is how I'm going to show you guys today. And then where I need more coverage, I'll go in with the sponge to add more coverage in those areas. I personally think this gives you more of a solid medium, close to a full coverage, but not necessarily full coverage. So let's go ahead and just start applying this. And I was going to like spot conceal, but I'm not going to do that so that you guys can see exactly how much coverage this gives off. So to apply this, I'm just going to use this brush. It's the Morphe and Jeffree Star brush. It's the JS1. And we'll just pick some up. And then I like to pat this before I buff. And I did forget to mention, you guys, I've already primed, and all I used today was my Timeless Smoothing Primer Base. And I just apply that where I have like more pores here. But kind of stipple that on and then start buffing. The reason why I was intrigued to get this foundation is because I enjoy using these type of products for when I'm getting ready for work, or for like the weekend mornings when I have to run errands, or if I just want to go out for breakfast and I want to get ready really quickly. I feel like powder foundations are just the way to go when you are in a rush. Honestly, for me, it's what works best. Now, as far as my skin type, I do have combo skin, very sensitive, very acne prone, unfortunately. So my T-zone gets oily, but I do have a lot of dryness on my cheeks. So I want to show you guys how my foundation ends up looking at the end of the day. So when I get back home tonight, I will show you the actual wear. This is just very easy to apply and very quick. So if you don't need that much coverage, using just a brush like this is going to be really easy, extremely quick for you to just get out the door. This, how I have this coverage, what it gave me, it kind of evened out my skin tone, but of course you can still see my dark pigmentation that I have throughout my face. Even like this, I can still go in and spot conceal because I have done it where after I apply this powder, I'll spot conceal, especially like these darker areas that don't cover up all that well, even with the sponge. And it's great because although it's powder, it doesn't cling onto it and not blend out. You just apply your concealer and then carefully blend it out in place. Good to go. So the coverage that I got here is more of a light medium coverage. My skin feels like skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. I'll try to find the name of the sponge and insert it here somewhere. So we'll just pick a little bit of it up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tap it where I do need more coverage. Just to avoid it just sitting there, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my brush again. And just kind of do some buffing here where I applied more of that. So as you can see, there was definitely more coverage added now. So now I feel like this is more of a true medium coverage, just a little bit powdery, and it did mattify my skin. Going to look a little bit different once I'm done with my makeup. I went ahead and spot concealed, no problems over powder. To me, that is amazing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into this Threesome. It's a silky microfine powder bronzer, highlighter, and blush infused with moringa seed oil. It does not transfer, stay true color, and vegan formula. I think they reformulated all like their trio palettes like this. So when I was in store the other day, I decided to pick up this one, and it's in the shade Fly. This might be the darkest one that they have, which I don't know what I was thinking. I was honestly just going based on the blush, and I really love the blush in this one. It's kind of like a terracotta shade, but a little bit more pinkier. The highlighter is definitely a little bit dark for me, but the bronzer works really well. So let me go ahead and apply this, and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So just using my Surratt brush, I'm going to apply this. And so it's got like a golden tone to it, but I think it'll definitely look better on somebody with a deeper skin tone. So I'm going to blend this in really, really well. Right now I feel like it looks a little bit brighter on camera than it does in person. It's more of a subtle highlighter, and it definitely gets even more subtle throughout the day. We'll see, but it looks actually pretty. Typically, once I start doing my makeup, I do like most of the steps I typically do. So I'll still apply like my highlighter, bronzer, and blush. That is just how I do things. The bronzer looks like it has like these micro shimmers. I don't feel like you can't really detect any of that though once you apply it. but it helps not make the bronzer look matte. So it has a little bit of a natural shimmer to it. It looks a little bit sheeny. And these products are very pigmented. I kind of forgot about that. Over this foundation, everything applies beautifully. Of course, because we're using a powder foundation, it's not really going to skip onto anything, which is another reason why I like to rely on powder foundations, because you don't have to worry about setting anything. And by the way, I don't know if I showed it on camera, but I also just, with that same powder foundation we were using and the brush I used to apply it with, I went ahead and also kind of applied it a little bit under my eye, just to set the concealer. So I'm not using any other type of product. Let me go ahead and finish up this bronzer here. So, okay. You see, like, that blends out so beautiful. I love it. So now for the blush. And I apologize, I feel like my video is already all over the place. When you're in a rush, getting ready for work in the morning, filming is just not as easy because you don't have that much time. So I tapped off my brush on my hand to remove some of the pigment I picked up, and I'm still applying quite a bit here, but I think it looks nice. I really like this shade of blush, which is what made me buy this darker palette for myself. So just with that brush that I had used to apply the foundation, I'm just trying to tone this down a little bit. I didn't pick up any more foundation. I don't need any more. Okay, and there we go. I really like how my skin looks like this. So it is currently 6:20. I am going to go ahead and finish my eye makeup, do my brows, add on some lipstick, and I will be right back. My makeup's all done. I love how my complexion looks. I feel like this foundation did a great job with the coverage and how I like it. I'm happy that I'm able to build it up where I want to build it up, and it looks really, really nice. And it's also such a great thing that I can still go in and spot conceal where I need to, although I've used a powder foundation. So for me, this just makes my life a lot easier and just a lot quicker to get ready. It feels really good on the skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear this for the rest of the day. Actually, before I do that, I do want to apply a little bit more this highlighter. Just, you know, to see how well we can get this to last. Okay, there is that. So I'll see you guys later on today to do, I'm only going to be able to do the final check-in. Unfortunately, I can't do like a midday to show you guys how this looks 4 or 5 hours in. But I guess what is important is how it looks at the end of the day. So we will do that, and I will not, if I need to, I will not be doing any touching up throughout the day, so I can show you guys what to expect if you have a similar skin type that I do with this foundation. So I will see you guys shortly. Alright guys, it is 6:12 p.m. So I've had on this foundation for about 12 hours. Actually, all of my makeup has been on at this point for about 12 hours. And I think it looks pretty good so far. I do see that I'm a little bit oily, but honestly, considering that I haven't touched up whatsoever, I haven't blotted, I haven't done anything with my face except reapply my lip gloss. I wanted you guys to see exactly how this would wear throughout the day, as if you were to wear something like this, say like I did today for work, because this is specifically why I bought this product. With most foundations, usually by the 5 or 6 hour mark, I like to blot. That's just something I do on a daily basis. But again, for the sake of today's video, I did none of that. So I will be blotting in a little bit just to kind of see how the foundation looks afterwards. But for 12 hours, this is how we're looking. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on the foundation in a little bit, because I want to give you details on the claims of this foundation. I wasn't able to cover as much as I would have liked to earlier today, just because I was in somewhat of a rush to get ready this morning. So let's get into that, and then I'll give you guys my full review. So by now, both of these products are available anywhere you can find Urban Decay products. And I got mine through Ulta. Anything I can buy in Ulta, I will buy at Ulta. So let me read off what it says here on their website. It says, Urban Decay Stay Naked The Fix Powder Foundation is a weightless, vegan longwear powder foundation with buildable medium coverage and a real skin matte finish that lasts up to 16 hours. Everything you love about the Stay Naked foundation, now in a powder. The Fix's super blendable shades feature medium buildable coverage and a real skin matte finish that doesn't transfer. The silky, breathable formula is water and sweat resistant with moringa seed oil for anti-pollution and anti-aging benefits. For some reason, I thought you can build it up to a full coverage. I felt like the way I applied it today, I got pretty close to a full coverage, but definitely not quite there. So for sure, the claims that Urban Decay are giving on this product, I've got to agree with. Now, can you wear this for up to 16 hours? Probably, but I do gotta say that by the time I hit that 16-hour mark, my makeup, I feel like right now it's kind of at its last leg. Like, this is still okay for me, considering I've worn this for 12 hours without touching up at all. But I don't know if I can pull off another 4 hours with this. Today is the third time I'm wearing this foundation. The first time I wore it for about 4 or 5 hours, and I just applied it with a brush. That day I definitely got a lighter coverage, and I felt like my skin got oily a lot sooner. By the time I went to go wash my face, my oils were about as they are right now. Yesterday, I wore this foundation for 10 hours, and I actually feel like it wore better. I was using the same primer I used today, and for some reason, I felt like yesterday held up a little bit better than it did today. And so that might be because today I definitely did apply more product than yesterday. Although in the areas that I went in with the sponge to give me more coverage, I needed that extra coverage, I did over apply like a tad bit. So that might have made a difference. Also, it's already 2 hours past the 10 that I did yesterday. So of course, that's going to make a difference with my makeup. So that's why I'm not sure if I can pull another 4 hours. So at this point, I haven't lost too much coverage around my face. I definitely lost some here in my chin, but I was picking at my chin earlier, so that's more my bad than the actual foundation. Same with the nose. I usually have a runny nose. I have to wipe my nose at some point. So I did lose a little bit of coverage around my nose as well. So usually that is where I'm a little bit more forgiving when I'm testing out foundations, is my chin and my nose, because typically it's my fault. But anywhere else, I feel like the coverage still looks really good. There is like a minimum amount of buildup here on the sides of my nose, but again, it's very minimum, so not bad at all. I think it looks good still. I mean, overall, I think the coverage stayed very true to what it is. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and blot. So I'm gonna do that off camera. I'll be right back and show you guys how my skin is looking. All right, so I'm all done with the blotting. So where I had most of like the oils build up, I lost coverage right after blotting, and I used actual blotting sheets, and yeah, there's no more coverage anywhere here. Again, I mean, it's pretty close to my nose, but I wasn't doing anything with that side right there. Whatever was left on my chin, most of it is gone now. My nose especially, and I lost a little bit of coverage here as well. My forehead isn't too bad, but I did lose a little bit of coverage. Still though, overall, again, for 12 hours, I don't think it's that bad. This isn't a foundation that I would use for like glam nights, or I have other foundations that give me a nicer finish, and I guess they're just more luxurious foundations, honestly. If I'm gonna go anywhere and do anything a little extra special, I want my foundations to be a little extra special as well. That's just how my mind works sometimes. Now, the other product that I was testing out today is the Threesome Palette right here. Again, I have mine in the shade Fly. I think this performed so good. You can still see my blush, you can still see my bronzer, and you can still kind of see my highlighter. So I'm happy I added a little bit more. It didn't look crazy at all this morning, and it stayed on all day. So now I wish I had bought a lighter shade so it can suit my skin tone a little bit better. But I love the bronzer and the blush shade in here. So for me, this isn't a miss. Honestly, I felt like I was having a pretty good makeup day today as far as my complexion goes. I was very happy with how everything looked throughout the day, how it all looked at the end of the day. Alright guys, that's it as far as today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and while you're there, do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.